Well, I know it's tough when you try to cover somebody's tracks.
Hard. My brother, he left for the beach Friday, so he was out, left half a day Thursday, and was out all day Friday to the beach, so then there was a driver down plus him out too, so Thursday, Friday was pretty busy.
I figured just a one-time job. But anyway, I'm not gonna try to. Warm as it is, I think cover the weather outside, inside. I want like yeah. Yeah. Looks like it's been on the first. I just did it myself. I don't think I'll do that again. I think I'll just go to Bass Pro Shop and buy my store and cut off that part put it on. $30. It's a whole lot easier. I don't think I'll do it again. It's not free because you'll spend a few hours trying to get it somewhere.
How do you all haul most of your old pallets
That's
in?
been tricky.
On trailer or,
Four axle
box
maybe.
trailer or flatbed?
We do most all ours van trailers. We got 100, 125 van trailers and then
But I found that out.
yes, we got two customers, they do both. As in just do other ones. Get some most of the time or every once in a while flatbeds. Most van trailers.
I think the best bet is just to
How many do you put on a van?
But most of the time we do 520, there's a few of them that do 560. We go a real long ways, we try to put 616 on there. It's 22 high and you gotta do every other sideways.
You fifth wheel them then?
Yeah, it's tight, but you get as many as you can on there. We get down in Carolina, like I went down that way. We try to get 616 on there, as many as we can on there. Go a long ways. Most of it's just high. Some close ones, they'll do a half a load or something like that. Kind of big, whatever you want.
Sometimes, if you are warm, you're lucky to just drop me a trailer over at the back house.
Okay.
And I've got 4 or 5 hundred there
Okay.
that I've just run them straight in rather than pinwheel. It'd be so much easier.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
You know, somewhere for Ayers Orchard Road.
Okay. You,
I'll show you sometime. Just, you know, might do it between, the weather doesn't get rough between Christmas and New Year. You know, that way I could do it rather than ask one of my guys to do it, because they can be.
Yeah.
That way I just, pull them out. If the weather's not rough, I can just take a forklift and run them straight in.
Yeah.
That way I can clean up a bunch I've got over there.
Sure.
Because they're just going down and I don't, I don't need, I got counting, I've got close to 100 here at the market and college. I can take them up there. Some of them are pretty decent pallets, but I just, no sense in leaving them there.
Yeah, they only rot, then you
Yeah.
use whatever you got.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could work something.
Okay.
Dwayne, if you're trying to teach, we can't hear you, bud.
All right, we were just talking. All right, everybody ready to go?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were talking about European roots and how hard I thought about it.
Okay, we can still barely hear you.
I'm really frustrated with this light. I wish they could stick. All right. So today we're going to finish a problem we started on Thursday last week with balancing grasses. So did y'all over the weekend did y'all work through this problem and read that extension publication? You left class and totally forgot about it. Alright. So, let's just start back here a little bit and get y'all thinking about this again. Remember, we have a 500-pound steer. We want that steer to gain 2 pounds a day. He's going to finish out so we can put him in a freezer at 1,200 pounds. So, step 1 is to know the animal that you're feeding. Okay? What are we feeding? So, since we have a 500-pound steer at 2 pounds a day, he's going to finish out 1,200 pounds. Then we go to the nutrient requirements of the NRC table for cattle, National Research Council, nutrient requirement for beef cattle, and we scroll down that, and it's on Blackboard as well. So we find our 500-pound steer, and I think it was listed under steers and heifers, growing steers and heifers. We find a 500-pound steer with finishing out at 1,200 pounds, 2 pounds a day gain. And we write down the nutrient requirements. And for our problem, we're just going to worry about energy and protein. So, this steer is going to eat 12.6 pounds a day of dry matter. So if you took all the water out of all the feed that you're feeding, he would be able to hold 12.6 pounds of dry matter. The crude protein requirement for this steer is 1.63 pounds a day, or 12.9% protein. And the energy requirement is 8.6 pounds of energy, or 68% heavy total digestible. That's the term we're using. Y'all remember this from Thursday? Come on, guys, speak up.
Yes.
Okay. But I need you guys to ask questions when the water gets muddy. You're going to have to speak up. All right. So don't be afraid to ask questions and respond back to my questions. It's crucial you guys understand how to do this. Does anybody remember what our step 2 is? What's their second step? What are we going to feed this steer? Right? We got to know what we're going to feed him. That's going to be our second step, is determining our feedstuffs and their nutrient content. In this example, we are feeding this steer fescue hay and shelled corn, and if we have to, if we're short on protein, we're going to come back in with soybean meal for the protein supplement. So we sent our feed samples off, we got them analyzed. Our fescue hay is 90% dry matter, it's 52% TDN, and it is 10% protein. Our shelled corn is 90% dry matter, 90% TDN, and 9.8% crude protein. And our soybean meal, if we need it, is 90% dry matter, 84% TDN, and 49.9% crude protein. Okay, does that jog your memories back from so far? From Thursday. Everybody with me?
So the soybeans, that's just for the protein then, or?
Yeah, if we feed soybean meal, historically has been is expensive. So we typically feed soybean meal as a protein supplement because it's so high in protein.
I have a question.
Okay.
What's the cheapest, mixture of feed that we could feed our cows or cattle?
There are so many different mixtures out there that you can feed cattle. Commercial mixtures and mixes you can make yourself. The list of possibilities are endless. And I'm not trying to be a smart aleck. I'm just stating the fact. What's going to be cheapest?
Yes.
Is what's available, what do you have access to? Okay, and then where are you, what type of performance are you going to get? And when I say that, sometimes our most expensive feed is actually our cheapest feed because of the performance we get from it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you.
Like, let's take corn gluten, for instance. People here feed corn gluten meal to cows like it's going out of style. Have you had much experience feeding your cattle corn gluten meal or corn gluten pellets? Have you ever
we
fed them
use
cattle?
cracked corn and corn gluten.
Okay, so you use a mixture of cracked corn and corn gluten. What a lot of farmers do here is feed corn gluten and hay because corn gluten pellets are fairly cheap. Well, what I've seen is the calves don't grow on corn gluten meal. Y'all notice that? Or is it
That's
just
actually
me?
we feed most of our wean bull calves. It's corn gluten is stuff called AGR141 by Purina and cracked corn.
Okay. Traditionally, that AGR141 by Purina, that stuff's pretty good stuff. I'm not knocking it one bit. Traditionally, corn gluten has been used as a protein supplement. It usually goes in somewhere around 18 to 22% protein after the milling process. And the dairy industry for decades have been using that as a protein supplement. And when corn went high, or corn gluten, well, let me back up. Corn gluten, is cheaper, or has been cheaper than corn. So a lot of beef farmers started feeding corn gluten pellets in addition to their hay, or just feeding it to their calves, and they're not getting, I don't think they get the gains that they would if they had corn mixed in with it, or cracked corn mixed in with it. I think that I've used the AGR141 before, and we got really good results with that. But it's got, the best of my recollection, it had quite a bit of corn in there. I'm thinking they used the corn gluten more as a protein supplement than as an energy source. Do you agree with me or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not predominantly corn gluten. What we had was more predominantly cracked corn. And then it had minerals and some other stuff in there with it. But I'm just saying, a lot of farmers around here just use gluten. And they use it for their weaned calves, they use it for their brood cows, and they just I don't think they get the growth from those calves that they would if they were to use cracked corn. And so when I say sometimes your most expensive is your cheapest, that's just because of the performance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So your question is not a really easy question to answer.
What does wheat provide? Like, I've seen somebody mix wheat and then like corn and stuff like that together with hay.
Wheat's pretty high in energy, and it's a little bit higher than corn on protein. It's a little bit lower in energy than corn. I'm thinking it's about 84. It's in the 80s for the TDN, and I'm thinking it's about 11, maybe like 11% protein. And wheat is a good feed. You got that hard shell there around it, so a lot of people, when they feed that, it's going to be cracked or flaked. In the feedlots where they feed it, they'll steam it and they'll roll it out and crack that really hard shell for that to be used, and they'll grind it up, very coarsely grind it. But it's a good feed. I don't know if I answered your questions the way you wanted them answered, but that's the best I could answer.
It's fine.
It gives you something to think about anyway, right?
Yes, sir.
But typically, back to your cheapest feed, a good mixture, it's going to be what you have available to you and the cost, and then you got to look at performance. And if you're talking about feeding cows, it's going to be forage based. And out there in Southside, you may get by of just having really good forage management, letting your cows graze most of the year and supplement. And if you can put up some good quality hay, you may not have to feed them a whole lot of grains. It all depends on your calving schedule and the quality of your forage and what kind of grass you have available to eat during calving season, if any, and the quality of your hay. There's a lot of factors that go into that for those answers. But this problem may help you out a little bit that we're working on. So, as I said, in this example, we're using fescue hay, corn, and soybean. Now, do any of y'all remember what step 3 is?
Balance for energy.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, ma'am.
Balance for energy.
That is correct. We're going to balance for energy. Now, why do we balance for energy first? What is this steer's biggest requirement? Energy. Okay, that's his biggest requirement, so we're going to balance for energy first. Make sense? Everybody with me? The other reason, well, I'll go. His biggest requirement is energy. He requires 68% of his dry matter intake to be energy. So that's why we're going to balance for energy. So what we do is we set up what's called the Pearson square. And we started this on last Thursday. So we're balancing for energy. What we did, we drew a square, and we put the percentage of our ration, or the percentage of the TDN percent that steer requires in the middle of our square. And on the left-hand upper corner, we wrote down fescue hay, and it contains 52% energy, 52% TDN, and our shelled corn contains 90% TDN. We then subtract, and we don't worry about positive or negative signs. We just want that absolute number. We took 52 from 68. We subtracted diagonally, came up with 16. And then we took 68 from 90 and got 22 in the upper left-hand corner. All right. And this is telling us that our ration, to balance it for energy, is going to contain, if we add those two numbers together, it will be 38. That tells us that our ration balance. We balance this ration for energy. Our ration contains 38 parts. 22 parts of it will be fescue. 16 parts of it will be corn. Now, how big is a part? How big, what we got to do is we put that in a way we can understand it. So let's just make a percentage. So we take 22 parts divided by 38 parts, and that comes comes up to be 0.58. Multiply that by 100%, and we get 58% of our ration will be festive. And we do the same thing with corn. We take 16 parts of corn, divide that with 38 total parts. That's going to be 42%. So balance, for our hay will be our ration, if it's balanced for energy, will contain 58% hay, 42% corn. Everybody with me? We did this. We walked through all this on Thursday. This is where we quit. Do you have any questions up to this point? I don't hear any guesses or no's. Questions. Is the muddy clear? Is the water clear or is the water low?
Got it.
All right. What about you, Caitlin, the south side? You understand it, Caitlin?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Nina, still with me?
Yes, sir.
All right. You guys at Keysville, you guys there at Patrick Henry, y'all with me?
Yeah.
You
Yes,
guys
sir.
at Southwest? Huh? Better, because you have to do this. All right. So, we balanced our ration for energy. Are we done? No, we're not done. You think we're okay on protein or not? Do we need to check to see if we meet our protein requirements? Okay, we do. Step 4, check your protein requirements. Check the protein to make sure it meets the requirements. So, what we're going to do.
What's it like to be in good hands? Like the power to earn all-state reward points every time I drive. You want my number? And cash back for driving safe.
I can't talk and write at the same time because you can't hear me.
I
So
don't
what
think
we're
that
going
was
to do
part of the course.
is our fescue hay is 58% of the mix, right? And it contains 10% protein. And their corn is 42% of the mix. And it's 9.8% crude protein. So what we're going to do, we're going to take 0.58, 58%. We're going to multiply that by 10. That's going to give us 5.8% crude protein from the hay. Okay? And since our ration contains 42% of the corn, for 42% corn, we're going to multiply that by the protein content of corn, which is 9.8. And that comes out to be 4.1. So now we add the two numbers together, and our ration with just the fescue corn comes up to be 9.9% crude protein. Now, does that meet our protein requirements? What's our protein requirement for the steer? Okay, 12.9. So we're short on protein. Y'all agree or disagree?
Agree.
Do you understand how I check the protein levels of that ration? Do you have any questions on that before we move on and balance the protein? Does that mean no? Your silence? Okay. Patrick Henry, y'all good? Y'all understand how I check the protein levels before we move on to balance for protein?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, Keysville?
Yes, sir.
Caitlin?
I'm good.
Nina?
I got it.
All right. Y'all are good. So now we're going to balance for protein. We're going to do the same thing that we did for energy, only we're going to use protein numbers. Okay? We're going to go back to our Pearson square. What number are we going to put in the center of the square?
12.9.
That's correct, 12.9. And what are we going to put up for our fescue shelled corn?
9.9.
And our soybean mixture would be 49.9. Okay. So now what do I do? Subtract diagonal. subtracted diagonally. Now what? Okay, add them together. We got 40 parts. What do we do to get that into a percentage? Divide each part by 40, right? So we're going to take we're going to take 37 divided by 40, and we're going to take 3 divided by 40. So our fescue shelled corn mixture is going to be 92.5% of our ration, and our soybean meal will be 7.5% of our ration. Any ideas what we got to do now? Any guesses? So our fifth step is to determine the pounds of dry matter for each feed ingredient. So how many pounds of dry matter will our steer eat a day? Okay, 12.6 pounds. Everybody see that? Everybody with me? Do you have a question there, Patrick Henry? You got I can't remember your name, the girl in the checkered shirt, blue and white checkered shirt. You got the deer in the headlights.
She's good.
Okay.
That's Ashley, though.
All right. Okay. So, we know our steer eats 12.6 pounds dry matter intake a day. So, we take dry matter intake times that will
Can't hear you, Dwayne.
All right, so we take our dry matter intake and multiply that by the percentage of each feed ingredient. That's going to give us the dry matter pounds of that ingredient, right? So if we take 12.6 pounds, So we take 12.6 pounds or to dry matter intake and multiply that by 7.5%. That's going to be 0.95 pounds of soybean meal that we're going to feed. Everybody with me? Now, our other two ingredients is the fescue and hay combination, right? And we know that that is 92.5% of our total ration. So what we have to do is figure out how many pounds of fescue hay on a dry matter basis and how many pounds of corn on a dry matter basis for feeding. So we know the reason we did the soybean meal first is to come up with the total pounds of dry matter that steer's going to eat of soybean meal. What we need to do now is to subtract. We can take take 0.95 pounds of soybean meal that we're feeding and subtract that from our total of 12.6 pounds. That comes up with 11.6 pounds. That's going to be our hay, corn. Our hay and corn mixture. Does that make sense? Y'all with me at Patrick Henry?
Yep, we're here.
All right. Kaysville?
Yes, sir.
Southside?
Yes.
Nina?
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all with me? All right. So, now we've got to determine the individual pounds of fescue and the individual pounds of shelled corn. And so if we go back, when we balance for energy, to meet our energy requirements, our fescue had to be 58% of the ration, right? So So we take 11.65 pounds and we multiply that by 58%, because that's the 58 or corn and hay combination, 58% hay, 42% corn. So we multiply that by 0.58, gives us 6.76 pounds of fescue, and 11.65 times 0.42 is going to be 4.89%, or 4.89 pounds of corn. So at this point, it's a good time to check to see if you've done all your math right. Okay? What we know at this point, on a dry matter basis, we are feeding 0.95 pounds of soybean meal. We're feeding 6.76 pounds of hay, and we're feeding 4.89 pounds of corn on a dry matter basis. Right? What does that equal up to? It better equal up to 12.6, right? Okay, so if we add those numbers together, let me get my calculator out here. 0.95 plus 6.76 plus 4.89. That comes up to be 12.6. So we're good. If it came out to be a lot more, then I know I did something wrong and I need to go back and redo my equation. If it came out to be a lot less, then I need to go back and redo my equation. If I came out to be close to 12.6, it may be, if I came out, say, like 12 and a half or 12.9, 12.7 or 12.8, that's probably due to some rounding error. Okay? Does that make sense, guys? But if you're off a pound, you better go back and redo something, because you messed up. So, are we done yet? Are we finished? Yes or no? Somebody answer me.
No.
No. Yeah. We got to convert this to as fed. Because when we go get a bale of hay out of our barn, it's got water in it. When we go get a bucket full of corn, it's got water in it. So we got to convert
Hey, Dwayne, what does that say at the top of your paper? Convert to...
Step 6, convert to as-fed basis.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now, to convert, we know our fescue hay is 90% dry matter, right? We know our corn is 90% dry matter, and we know our soybean meal is 90% dry matter. Are we going to divide, or are we going to multiply?
Divide.
Okay. Why do you say that? That is the correct answer. Okay. Can you explain why you divide?
I mean, that's how I set it up in the equation, so that's how I don't really remember the reasoning. I just know you're supposed to divide.
Okay, we got to add the water back into it, right?
Yeah.
As fed, is always going to be heavier than dry matter. Okay? So if you do the wrong part here, you know, if you multiply instead of divide and it comes out to be less than the dry matter that you're feeding, you messed up. Another way to check yourself. As fed, you add that water back into it, it's always going to be heavier than your dry matter basis. If we divide these, it's going to be divided, we're going to come up, we'll be feeding that steer 7.5 pounds, 7.51 pounds of hay on an as-fed basis, 5.43 pounds of corn, and 1.07 pounds of soybean. And we can go get our scales, weigh out our hay, weigh out our corn, and weigh out our soybean. That's what we're feeding that steer for him to gain 2 pounds a day. Finish out at 1,200 pounds. That's what he requires. Any questions? Looks fairly simple, right? I will guarantee you when you start doing this, you're going to start scratching your head. What did he do there? I promise you. Huh? Now you got a bunch to do. So, do y'all have any questions at all?
No.
All right. Now, how do we figure out how much it's costing us? If we're to put a price on it, well, how do we figure out what it's costing? How much is hay? What can you buy hay for? Doesn't matter. Well, I mean, what's the cost of the hay? I mean, you know, as a farmer, or if you're buying hay to feed these deer. Okay, y'all agree with that? $30 to $35 for a 4x5 roll of hay. Does that sound reasonable? That's about average around here in our part of the country. Maybe different price range out in South Side and South Boston. I would tend to think it's probably about the cost there at Patrick Henry. So, okay, how much does that 4x5 bale of hay cost? I mean, how much does it weigh? Okay, 5x5 $49,000, right? Guys that put up hay, does that sound about right? You guys at Keysville, y'all put up hay, right?
Do what?
Y'all put up hay, right?
Yes, sir.
Is a 4x5 roll, is that about 800 pounds?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, we
Okay.
do 5x5. I think we do 4x5.
And how much is a 4x5 roll costing you out there at Southside?
About 40, 35, 40.
Okay. You think you agree that's probably about 800 pounds?
Yeah.
All right. So, we'll just use $35 as an example. Let's figure out how much this is going to cost us. At least we'll do the hay and the corn, okay? Because in the homework assignment I'm going to give you, you're going to have to figure out how much it costs. So, if this hay costs $35 for 800 pounds, how much does it cost a pound? Now, well, we're only feeding 4.5 pounds, right? How much does that hay cost per pound? If it's $35. If I divide $35 by 800 pounds, I come up with 4 cents a pound. Since I'm feeding 7.5 pounds, ration is going to cost us 33 cents a day. What'd you say, Ashley?
Nothing, I had a question. May answers.
All right. What about corn? Corn sold by the bushel, right? And how many pounds is in a bushel of corn? There's 56 pounds of corn. What's the price of corn, guys? What is it per bushel? All right now, December corn is $3.40 a bushel. That's currently what it's trading for right now out in Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So how am I going to how do I figure out my price for corn? If corn's $3.40 a bushel, and a bushel is 56 pounds, what's my price for corn? What's my price per pound? So right now, corn is 6 cents a pound. Corn 6 cents a pound. And on this example, we are feeding .43 pounds. So it's going to cost us 33 cents a day for corn. soybean meal's sold by the ton, and we would figure it out the same way, however many dollars a ton it sells for, so 2,000 pounds a ton. Figure out what soybean meal. Okay. Soybean meal, December's featured soybean meal was $308.50 a ton. So, uh, right? Okay. So soybean meal's 15 cents a pound. So soybean meal's costing us 16.5 cents a day to feed. So our total cost of the ration So it's costing us 81.5 cents a day to feed that steer. He finishes out at 1,200 pounds. Let's see, 1,200 minus 500, 700 pounds. We're going to add. That's 2 pounds a day, right? 700. It's going to take 350 days to finish him out. $285, 25 cents. But the thing is, as he gets bigger, we're going to have to change our ration because, you know, he's going to eat more. So we're going to be changing our ration as he gets, you know, gets bigger. But when he gets up to another couple hundred pounds, we'll change it. Or another 100 pounds. What's that? Ideally, your cow should weigh half of her body weight. Okay. And how much your cows weigh? That's good. You know, a good production goal is for your cows to wean off half of their body weight. A lot of cows don't do it. How many 1,400-pound cows you see out there? 1,700-pound cows. Not many. How many 1,200-pound cows you see out there? 600-pound cows. Yeah, that's more reasonable. You know, so does it really justify a 1,400-pound cow with them? I don't know. All right, guys. Any questions on what we just did? Balancing around. Guess what? I'm going to give you a problem to do. On your own. So y'all start working on this. I'll assign a date to it Thursday because you've got a quiz out there on Blackboard that needs to be completed. So we'll go over this Thursday. But you do have a homework assignment we're going to do. You're going to be balancing rations for beef cows. All right. So, anyway, do your quiz on Blackboard, and we will talk about that homework assignment on Thursday. Y'all have a good rest of the day. Megan, Tina, Evan,
World record, 47 pounds.
I see that.
I seen that one.
I like a movie.
Just saw a while ago.
Let's see it.
May want
For like, what do you think?
probably do this in your leg.
Alright.
You would, just a word of caution. Fine tech, don't fine part.
Okay.
Partial only takes 2 people a year. In horticulture, you can get it in horticulture, stay there, and then transfer it out.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Which lady did I need to talk to financial aid? I got an email yesterday saying they took me out of my classes and hadn't paid for them, and I signed up for the payment plan on Friday, and I got all the emails saying it went through.
Cindy Keller.
Okay.
Okay. will be the best one to talk to.
Okay. But I checked it this morning and all my classes are still there, so I don't know if it really took me
I
out or
checked
not.
too, I looked at the rosters this morning, and, you know, they may not have backed them out. I can check.
Oh, yeah. And neither is Greg. I mean, Evan. Chapter 13 and 14. Not showing up. Greg. Yeah, no, you did it. You did it on November the 12th. Okay. I was looking for Evan and Joseph popped up. All right, my bust. You did yours. No, he hasn't taken it either. And you got another one, and you're gonna have another one here in a week or two. It's hard. It's close enough.